No puedes jugar boxeo es presentado por J&E, tu mejor opción para toda remodelación en Las Vegas, Nevada. 702-994-1924. Ponte tu Seller, los mejores guantes orgullosamente mexicanos, desde 1930 vistiendo los puños de los campeones y ahora disponibles para ti en sellersports.com. Ponte tu Seller.
But let me ask you this. I don't know if you have the experience to fight in Fresno, because I truly believe it's one of the most beautiful experience that I ever had.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I've heard from a lot of people that the atmosphere there and the fans, they really show up and that they're great. And I mean, I've seen that from watching Jose's previous fights before. I've been watching him since he first turned pro. So I'm excited to fight there and see what it's like.
What can you tell about the fight, about your opponents, and everything around this fight? Because I truly believe, and I don't want to, but to be honest, I can tell that now with Top Rank, your career is growing and growing and growing.
Yes, it's definitely, this is the biggest fight of my career. These are the kind of fights that I want. I want to fight other champions. I want to be unified. I want to be undisputed champion. And this is just the start of becoming undisputed. And yeah, like you said, with Top Rank, the sky's the limit. You know, they're going to definitely push to get me the big fights that I want. And my stars are going to grow, not just inside of the ring, but outside as well with Top Rank. So I'm excited about this year.
When you take a look of the pound for pound list around the world, your name is always there. So how's the meaning for you to be part of the pound for pound fighters around the world?
It feels great because this is what I worked so hard for, is to be pound for pound the best. And with being inactive for almost a year, that kind of, I feel like it set me back a little bit on where I should be on the pound for pound list. But I think now being back and being active, and now that I'm going to have a really good year and hopefully become undisputed this year and move up in weight and fight another weight class for a title, is definitely going to help push me on the pound for pound list and remind people of who I am and remind people how good I am.
Of course. When you talk about 2022, definitely you need to mention it was now, if you take a look of 2023, I mean, until now, it looks like women, they're going to steal again the year. So you are part of it, and I'm so proud of you, and not only you, of women boxing. So you can tell that women can steal the year in a good way with the fights that you are showing, that you are putting every effort to show to the world that you deserve not only a better money, but you need attention from the world of boxing.
Yes, it's going to be, last year was such a huge year for women's boxing, and I think this year is going to be even bigger and even better for us in every way. Just the attention and fighting on the big platforms and putting on the best fights, champion versus champion, and just making sure that every fight is entertaining. I think this year is going to be a lot better than last year, and I think the next year after this is going to be even bigger and better. So women's boxing is definitely growing and getting better each year. So I'm excited that this year I'll actually be a part of the growth of women's boxing.
Oh, definitely. Let me ask you this, because sometimes there's a lot of trash talk, but in this case, especially when you ask, or when I asked Yokasta Valle about you, the girl from Costa Rica, he always mentioned that she respects you, but she will love to fight against you. This being said, Top Rank is working with everybody. It's trying to return the boxing, you know, like the old-fashioned boxing. So this being said, what is your opinion about Yokasta Valle? And you can see in a future a fight against her.
Yes, definitely. That's a fight that I told Golden Boy I wanted to make 2 to 3 years ago. I remember walking into the office and telling Robert Diaz that I want to fight Yokasta Valle, and he said, "Who's Yokasta Valle?" And I said, "She's the IBF champion from Costa Rica." So that's when he looked her up, and he contacted her team and tried to make the fight happen a couple of times, but it couldn't happen for whatever reasons it was. But it's a fight that I've been wanting for a long time now. So I've always respected her as well, but when she says that I'm scared to fight her and that I'm lying about wanting to make the fight happen, then that's when I have to say something, because that's not true at all. I've tried to make that fight happen before. I was the one who said I wanted to fight her and try to make it happen, and I'm not afraid of anybody. So if there's anybody I'm afraid of, it's definitely not her. so yeah, hopefully after this fight, we can get that undisputed fight with her, because I'm ready to fight her and I'm ready to be undisputed.
Awesome. How can you define? Uh, let's think about this. You are not part of the great event in Fresno, but what can you tell as an analyst? By the way, you're doing great comments on TV. But this being said, how can you describe Ramirez Comey, the main event?
You know what? I've never seen Comey fight before, so I'm not sure. I don't know much about Comey. So, but what I know.
What about Jose Carlos Ramirez? Because I truly believe he's the best human being in boxing. I mean, he's such a nice guy, but he's a beast on the ring. And you're gonna live this experience when he's going to bring a lot of people from Fresno. But I don't know if you can tell something about Jose Carlos Ramirez.
Yeah, Jose is an exciting, entertaining fighter. He fights with that Mexican heart and pride, and he's such a great person, nice person. I remember him in the amateurs. We came up in the amateurs together, so I remember always watching him fight. So when he turned pro and I saw the success in his career with Top Rank, I was very happy for him. So I don't know much about his opponent, but I know that if Jose goes out there and fights the way he always does, it probably won't last very long.
Definitely. Senisa, let me ask you this, because I love your father, and I have so many conversations with him, and he mentioned that you are your angel. You are his angel. He almost died. You have so many difficulties in order to be here in the way that you deserve. But how can you describe this relationship, father, daughter, fighter, trainer, friend, and everything? It's not an easy way to get here for your father and for you as well.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy. And, my dad is my biggest supporter. He trained me from the age of 8 without even having any history of training before. He was a huge boxing fan and always watched boxing, and he would always, fight in the streets, but he never actually took the sport of boxing seriously. So it's incredible what he did with me in the amateurs, to have over 100 amateur fights, to be national champion, to be the best in the United States without even having any training experience. He trained me from the age of 8 to the age of 16. And now my trainer is Dean Campos. He started training me at the age of 16. And it's been great that my dad stepped aside and let my trainer completely take over, because I've seen that in boxing so many times, where fathers ruin fighters' careers because they can't step aside and let someone else take charge, and they want to just be the main person. So I give so much credit to my dad for stepping aside and saying, okay, I brought you this far, but I can't take you to another level. Let's let someone else step in and take your career to another level. And that's exactly what happened. And my dad's still in the gym with me every day. He's still my biggest supporter. He's in the gym every day with me, whether it's to tie my gloves or put my headgear on or give me water. He's always there. He'll always be there and always be in my corner. And our relationship has just grown so much, and is just it would always be in a great place. You know, he'll always be my best friend.
What about this phrase that I always use? God is in my corner. What about God in your corner?
Yeah, my dad tells me that every single fight. When he takes my cape off right before the bell rings, he said, if God is for you, no one can be against you. And that's something that he just always tells me. And he has so much faith and so much belief in God, and of course in myself and in my abilities and what I'm capable of accomplishing.
When you have a goal, you always make it. I mean, you are like such a warrior. But what about this? Your Mexican blood in your veins. Is there a goal for you, or is a goal for you to at some point speak Spanish? Because, you know, I always believe that Mexican fans are paying for boxing. And I'm not saying this. Bob Arum told me, Ernesto, don't get me wrong, but the guys who are paying for boxing are the Mexican fans. It's a goal for you at some point to speak Spanish?
Yeah, I would like to be able to speak it fluently. I mean, I've learned a lot over the years since the first time that I met you, which was years ago. Since then, yeah. I've learned a lot, and it's definitely something that I would like to be able to speak very fluently. But I'm learning every day. I learn something new.
Awesome. So, how can you define your fight? Again, it's a very complicated fight. The world of boxing is going to watch that fight. How can you define your next fight?
I don't want to say too much as far as my game plan and what I have in store, what I'm going to show and what I'm going to do, because I don't want Tina to know. But I'm going to show who Superbad is. I'm going to remind everybody why I'm so good and why I'm so different, why I'm so special. And I'm going to walk out of the ring with those 3 belts.
Awesome. 3 more questions about world of boxing. How can you describe these great victories of the Mexicans in United Kingdom? Let's say Venado Lopez, Bronco Lara, you know, in the United Kingdom, they believe that they're going to bring some Mexicans in order to go like, you know, like another step. But it happens that they have a Mexican blood in his face. So how can you define this?
You never take a Mexican anywhere and underestimate them. That's the one thing that I know. The one thing that I've learned is that you can take a Mexican anywhere and they're going to go in there and they're going to, no matter what, they're going to feel comfortable, no matter, even if the fans and the atmosphere everyone's against them, it doesn't seem to faze them. It doesn't seem to faze us. And I think that definitely showed in those fights that you mentioned. So I was really happy to see those victories in those fights.
So we can tell you are not only the super bad, you are la super mala.
Yeah, super mala.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So finally, very quick, who's gonna win? Gervonta or Ryan?
I'm Team Ryan. I got Ryan Garcia winning.
Okay. Please invite to the people to the fight, and of course I'm gonna be there in Fresno.
Oh, great! I'm looking forward to seeing you. Yeah, I want to invite everybody out March 25th to Fresno. If not, tune in to ESPN on March 25th and watch me become unified champion. Thank
you for your time. It's always a pleasure to see you and talk with you.
Thank you, Ernesto. Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you,
Evan. Thank you, Senisa.